Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's almost 10 o'clock on August 22nd, 2023, and definitely a lot more comfortable than yesterday, but still a pretty junky sky. Looking at the satellite here, you could see they had nicer skies up in Maine and New Hampshire and maybe Vermont, but you could see a little bit of smoke, but also a ton of contrails and just jet smog in the skies today. It was pretty disgusting. The skies, anyway. It was very nice to walk around as far as the air goes, but the skies look pretty junky. Show you what they looked like today because it was pretty junky. So you could see this is like the best we got out of it. You could still see some cirrus around and a little bit of haze too. More cirrus there, and then yeah, look at this. I mean, just loads of contrails here in this. It's just absolutely disgusting. All these contrails all over the place, and a little bit of smoke too. You can see in there as well, and yeah, some cirrus here in the evening. Again, just lots of cirrus in the sky, kind of making the sky pretty milky. So, didn't really get any blue skies today, unfortunately. Let's go over what our current conditions are in our area, and you can see all the excessive heat warnings and heat advisories for the Midwest. And you can see what they're dealing with here. Waterloo, my gosh, dew point is 79. That's insane, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But first, let's talk about our weather, which is a lot more pleasant, by the way. We'll get to that right now. A moment. So right now in the alley it's 76, but most other areas are down to like 68, 72, 66 in Ronkonkoma. So it's gonna be a cool night tonight. Dew point's gone up to 61. That's interesting. I don't know how that happened. The dew points are pretty low today. I don't know. Islip's got a 61 degree dew point. 54 degree dew point at Farmingdale. So pretty comfortable dew points today. 61 at West Hampton, down to 50. So 61. They'll be dropping to the 50s. Let's see what we got here in Islip. Just show you what the day was like today at Islip. So you can see the dew points. Pretty much most of the day, dew points dropped before sunrise. And we had low dew points all day today, but we had a lot of those cirrus clouds around. Contrails moving through the sky. Temperatures only, I don't even know if they made it to 80 degrees, mainly only in the 70s. I don't know why the dew point went up a little bit there. I think they might have gotten a little bit of a sea breeze out over there at Islip, which kind of surprised me. Certainly not here in Nassau. But let's go look at the highs for the day. You can see highs, generally speaking, only in the 70s. For the most part across Long Island, low 80s in the city, and even New Jersey, only around 80 degrees. All lows. We're going to have a good radiational cooling night tonight, I think. 59 at West Hampton, but tonight's going to be much cooler than that. Otherwise, lows were in the mid-60s, but a lot of places are going to get a lot cooler tonight because of the radiational cooling, except, of course, the alley, which will probably only go down to around 10. Looking at your climate outlook for Islip here, high was 78. So, actually, it says right about average because we were warmer than normal at night, but I think when we look at tomorrow's statistics, they will be below normal. Central Park came out 3 degrees below normal for the day. But anyway, let's talk about the heat in the Midwest because that's something that we got this big heat dome. So if we look at you see this big ridge here in the center of the country. That's the heat dome. Fortunately for us, we're in the cool air. So we have a backdoor cold front coming through from the north, and you can see the moistures, the remnants of Hillary here in the west, still kind of circulating around there, and hopefully bring some rain to get those wildfires into control. But fortunately, be glad we're over here in the northeast because again, it's pretty damn brutal here in the Midwest. Here again, these conditions: 84, dew point 79. Farmington, Indiana. I think that's in Farmington, Illinois. I think that is. Let's see how it is in Chicago. Aurora, 79 with a dew point of 75. So very, very humid conditions. Incredibly humid. Look at that. Dew point of 82 at Walnut Ridge Airport. And I think that's in Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So it's an incredible amount of humidity. You have dew points in the 80s, which is... It's hard to see where because of all these. Let me again. It just makes it hard. I think that might have been Missouri, that 84. Springfield, 84 with a dew point of 79. I mean, these are some really, really, really brutal conditions here. Let's look at Springfield, Missouri. Look at this. Kaiser Lake, dew point of 81 with the temperature of 88. That is extremely humid. So it makes it feel much hotter because of that. And you can see they had highs up near 100 with dew points near 80 degrees, which is why they got the excessive heat warning in effect, because it makes it feel like it's well over 100. These are the heat indexes over here. In fact, it was 115 in Missouri today, which is, insane. This is insane kind of humidity that you're seeing here. And it stretches all the way up north into even Iowa, where it's 88 in Waterloo with a dew point of 79. We'll take a look at what their day was like. So, again, not too much to complain about here. We could be dealing with this. Fortunately, we're not. Temperatures reaching 100, dew points near 100, dew points well into the 70s. At least dew points are a little better there. But let's go look at what the highs were in the Midwest. And you can see this heat dome right here. So let's go look at the highs in this area. We'll put the highs on the map, and you'll see high temperatures in the 90s. No 100s, but when you combine it with the humidity, I don't know why we're not getting so few temperature updates here. But when you combine it with the humidity, it's really incredible. We do have some highs. Sioux Falls, for instance, hit 100. It's now 91 with a dew point of 74 there. So still very, very incredibly humid weather. Omaha, 99. Excessive heat warning. That continues through Thursday. So the heat's going to continue through this week for this area. How about Manhattan? This is not a Manhattan you want to be in. This is Manhattan, Kansas, I believe. 93 with a dew point of 70 after hitting 108 today. My God, that is insane. So this is the kind of heat. This is the kind of heat we're avoiding, luckily. All right, and again, some of those dew points are absolutely insane as well. So it's just crazy, the kind of heat, and it's only going to get worse. They still got at least 2 more days to go for this heat dome here in the Midwest, which is pretty bad. And don't see any thunderstorms here. The high is a very strong high, so it's suppressing any thunderstorm activity. And let's see, Arcala 66. This is on the west coast. I'm looking northwest. So it looks like they're getting a window off the ocean here, which may help control the wildfires. And we're going to look at that in a moment here. But yeah, what a heat dome this is. So I'm glad that we're not in it. So let's go to the satellite and look at a few more satellite now. I think we're still having issues with MODIS, if I'm not mistaken. So let me look at the MODIS here, and I think the MODIS is still down. Let's see if it's working. All right, it's working again. Okay, so here's the MODIS. You get an idea of things here. You can see there's this upper level low in the west here that could bring chances for rain and showers. So these are where the fires are in Oregon right now. Looks like there's a little less smoke coming off of them. Can't really see what's the fires here going on in the North California Oregon border, but it looks like, again, maybe they're getting some moisture over there helping with controlling those wildfires. They have gotten some moisture also in British Columbia, which is helping, but still lots and lots of smoke that still has to be dealt with, and we still have plenty of smoke here up from the Northwest Territories as well. And that's, of course, going around the heat dome, which is right here. We can draw that heat dome out. You can see it just by looking at the satellite image, this heat dome. It's right here. You can see it right here. So it's going around. Years going around the heat dome, and that's why the sky is kind of junky, because we're getting this flow, basically, up a level speaking, is coming from the west, so we're getting the smoke and we're getting cirrus around the ridge. But luckily, like I said, we have the backdoor front. We have the cool flow that's coming through. So you can see, and there were a lot of contrails in the sky today. It was pretty. Nothing more I hate than contrails, but hey, it's better than dealing with what they're dealing with in the Midwest with that heat dome. I'll say that. Not a whole lot of storm activity. We'll have to look at the radar as well with that. So let's look at the radar. We'll go to the AccuWeather radar, and we'll look at that. Show you not a whole lot going on here. Yeah, there are a few storms. There are a few storms up here near Gillette. I mean, because that kind of heat, you're going to have, maybe heat of the day storms, that kind of humidity. few storms here, and these could produce lightning, which might start more fires, which is not a good thing. Looks like we got rain in. Looks like we do have some rain moving to British Columbia. That's good. That'll help with the wildfires there. But up here in the Northwest Territories, I don't see much going on. And you can see there's some rain around flakes. It's just typical monsoonal moisture, so to speak, in that area. Going to the map here, we can look here, and I'm sure that the dew points have come down here. Yeah, Bakersfield's not a dew point of 64 now. But yeah, it got humid even in the north and the west, which is pretty unusual for it to get that humid. It's still kind of windy over here. Still got a lot of wind going on, but at least it's more of a moist wind, so it'll help a little bit. But anyway, let's go to the National Hurricane Center now. And look what we've got here. Again, we have a couple of areas there watching the Atlantic. Tropical Depression Harold moved in over Texas, and this is gonna bring a little more relief to the heat in this particular area as well. It'll bring some rainfall, but it's really not going to help with the humidity. It's only going to make it worse. Let's look at Franklin right now. Latest public advisory on Tropical Storm Franklin as of 8 p.m. Its location is 16.0 north, 71.4 west, about 200 miles south-southwest of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, moving. It's a maximum sting winds of near 40 miles an hour, moving northwest at 6 miles an hour. Minimum surface pressure 1006 millibars, 29.59 inches. And if we go look at the map here, you'll see that it's mainly going to be a threat to the Dominican Republic. And then once it gets out away from there, then it could become a hurricane, and this could be a problem for Bermuda. And we'll have to watch it. It looks like it should stay off the coast right now, but we're going to look at some more models and take a look. Right now, the models have been continuing to keep that trend, and hopefully that trend holds, because the last thing we need now is a hurricane. So I know what's going to happen. I just want it to happen when I'm out of here. Getting out of here is going to be hard. It's a whole nother subject I'm not going to talk about. No time is a good time for a hurricane, all right? I know what's going to happen eventually, all right? But anyway, here we go with the Storm Prediction Center. You can see marginal risk over the northern Great Lakes and also in the Rockies. Looking at tomorrow, that marginal risk spreads to the Great Lakes, and the eastern parts of the Great Lakes as well. So let's look at the models here, and we'll actually, I want to look at the latest with Franklin, so let's go look at that first. So this is Tropical Storm Franklin. You can see still looking rather disorganized here, very disorganized. It's really not going to be that strong of a storm, but the main threat is going to be heavy rain now. When we look at these, this is why I'm saying I don't think we're going to have to worry about Franklin, because the models keep it well offshore, as you see here, fortunately. Here's the GFS ensembles. They all keep it offshore. Even Nova Scotia looks safe right now, but Newfoundland could get it, perhaps. But it's still early in the game, and things could change. So, and this could become quite a powerful storm. As you see, some of these models are taking it all the way up to Cat 5. And again, because you got these warm waters in the Atlantic that are just much warmer than normal, and that's why I really I want that storm going out to sea, because if it were to make that left-hand hook and hit us, it would be a devastating event. So let's go to the models now and take a look at the rest of this week into next week, a little bit into next week. So we have another dry day tomorrow. High pressure crests over us, and then we're back dealing with the chances for rain on Thursday and Friday as a low pressure system sort of moves through here, brings us a chance for rain, and then we have another low pressure kind of moving through here as a high kind of builds in. Here's Franklin right here. So this high is going to build in and protect us. Hopefully it will protect us. You can see there's a high right there that will come in and protect us from it, and then kind of push that out. We have another high coming in. So it's very important to have those high pressures. You don't want to have the Atlantic Ridge, because see later on what happens to it, it's forming something right there. All right, when you have the Atlantic Ridge, then it's going to go right up the coast right there, right? It's forming something that doesn't look strong. Of course, it's probably not even on the 12Z run, so yeah, it's not even on the top. I wouldn't worry about that. It's just forming something that doesn't even exist yet, all right? But we do have to watch Franklin. It definitely will stir up the surf. That's for sure. It will definitely stir up the surf. But next weekend looks like it could be a little bit unsettled, perhaps. It all depends on how that strong that high is. So let's go look at the HRRR. Let's go to the 0Z run here. All right, so here's the HRRR, and you see there's an area of rain, actually, that goes over Pennsylvania. We're not going to get into that. We'll be dry tomorrow, though. We might be seeing some clouds from that. And Thursday is going to be when we're going to have more of a chance of some widely scattered showers, as you see. And then it looks like it's trying to form a pretty impressive little complex over here in western New York, western Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Of course, this is a ways out, but that will have to be watched as well. Let's show you the dew points and the wind flow on the HRRR. So here we go. We have the northeast winds tonight. Going to come east tomorrow. We'll still have relatively low humidity, but you're going to start feeling the humidity increase in the evening when the winds become more southerly, and definitely on Thursday. There'll definitely be increased humidity with more of a southeast wind as we deal with that those rain chances coming back into the picture. Though I don't even think we got much rain last night, so we could actually use some. I know there were a couple of scattered showers, and that was it. Here's tomorrow. Again, staying cool. Temperatures similar to today. I think we'll have highs only in the mid to upper 70s. And then at night, we won't be dropping back as much as we will tonight. Tonight, we'll probably have lows, probably even getting into the 50s in a lot of spots, especially in the Pine Barrens, but in the urban areas will be warmer. At least, even most of Nassau should still get down to around 60. But the alley, forget it, it's going to be around 70. And then with all the clouds around Thursday, you'll see temperatures generally are going to be are not that warm, but again, you'll have the humidity. And again, look at all this warmth here in the Midwest. We're going to look at that in a moment as well. So let me pull this out a little bit so we can show you this heat dome here. So here's this heat dome here, and like this, it's just incredible. So this is tomorrow, and you'll see. Look at all that heat still. I mean, tomorrow's gonna be hotter than today, so I think a lot of areas they're gonna break records. Temperatures up near 100. Oh, look at how far north that is, which is pretty crazy. And then Thursday, even worse, perhaps, for the people in the heat dome here. You can see those little cool spots. Those would be where thunderstorms would pop up. Temperatures in the hundreds and dew points pushing the dew points here. I mean, dew points getting close to 80. I mean, this is crazy kind of humidity. I think tomorrow is probably going to be the worst day. It looks like it's showing more 80-degree dew points again. You see again that cool air that we're in, and then that kind of tries to make its way toward us, but luckily we're not going to get into that. So let's go to the GFS now. Again, we'll show you this heat dome here, and I'll actually run this dew point thing so you can get an idea of what's happening. So see, Thursday we get more into the humidity, and then we have a cool push that comes through for the weekend that will bring, and hopefully push that humidity far enough south that we'll have at least a decent weekend. So, and again, if we look at the air temperatures, we'll keep it on this broader view here. I mean, it's insane. I mean, that's insane. 110 in Minnesota. That's insane. So that's got to break some kind of all-time record. And then, yeah, so tomorrow and Thursday are going to be even worse with the heat dome in the west. And then you can see, here we go on Friday. You can see the heat starting to get pushed down a little bit. Here we are Saturday. The next week you can see it starts to get pushed down. And hopefully, maybe that'll be the last of it. Hopefully. One can only hope. But look, it tries to make a resurgence again. I really don't want to go too much in the long range here. But look at that. In the long range, it does bring it back. It brings it back. Yeah, wow, that's not good at all. So, yeah, it's luckily it's not bringing it here. But that's some very hot weather there, I'm telling you. As long as it stays away from here, because, it gets that bad here. I think this whole block is just going to spontaneously combust from all the heat. It gets so hot here. But anyway, so looking at our temperatures again, Friday, you can see the extreme heat is just off to the south. And look, like I said, we avoid it. And the weekend should be pleasant. So let's look at the skies. Obviously, this isn't going to show you the smoke, um, but we'll go ahead and look at it. You can see there'll probably be some cirrus around tomorrow. The GFS will start off first, and then we'll some of the other models. Plenty of clouds Friday. The weekend, hopefully we can clear it on out. We'll have to see what happens. It's kind of hard to say this far in advance. Looking at skies. We can look at the RHM model as well. Just a better resolution. You can see it does keep a lot of that cirrus off to the west, so maybe we get lucky. But we may be dealing with some smoke. All right, so Thursday, definitely a lot more clouds. So Thursday and Friday are going to be unsettled with the clouds and rain chances. And then you can see, as far as we go, it's going to linger into Saturday, perhaps, on the RGM. I want to go to the NAM 12 as well. And so give us a better idea of, again, the rain situation. I don't have enough of the zeros in. So, again, tomorrow dry, but then, again, we have that unsettled weather Thursday, and it looks like maybe Friday morning, that's when we could get a heavy batch of rain with some thunderstorms. It looks like a low that's going to come through with something. So we'll have a better idea on that tomorrow night, I think. Right now, it's just too far in advance to look. So let's go to the smoke model, and we'll go to the RIP smoke model here, and we'll do the vertically integrated smoke. So you can see all the smoke there coming in. So we may be dealing with some of it, though. It doesn't look like it's going to be that thick tomorrow. And then it lifts out Thursday, obviously, and gets to the tropical air. So that's all it's going to show us, I guess. Yeah, that's all it's going to show us. But tomorrow we'll have a little bit of smoke around, it looks like. So tomorrow's the 23rd, so yeah. Maybe a little bit around. It'll be a little bit. It looks rather thin. Doesn't look very thick. Looks like the thickest stuff is staying out west. You can clearly see that heat ridge, too, by the way. Oh, thank God that's not here. I don't want to think of what would happen here if it was that hot. Just get us through the summer without getting that hot, all right? Because next summer I ain't going to be here. There's no way I'm going to be here next summer. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any smoke, surface smoke for us. So I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Again, I'm just glad that praying for you folks in the Midwest. It's going to be brutal for you, but luckily for us, hopefully the power system is holding up. We'll just go to poweroutage.us and see if any of these western states are having problems. Yeah, there is an outage in Texas. Last thing you want to have is the power go out when you have this kind of heat and humidity around. You don't see too many. Luckily, it is holding up. California still has. Still Del Norte, still dealing with some outages. They're restoring power slowly there. The transmission lines, I think, might have been damaged by the fire, but they're bringing generators. It's a big mess over there. But I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.